After watching and discussing the trade war from so many angles in several videos, I, Sai, who does the research, started to wonder, hey, is this trade war that's going on right now really a game where the United States is intentionally planning policies and gathering allies just to take down China economically, and only China? Or could it be that it's actually a calculated strategy designed so that only the American ship ends up surviving in the end? Thank you so much to everyone for following the Sai Money Monster channel. Thank you for every single subscription, like, share, and comment, and thank you for all your support as well. If you enjoy content like this, which I put my heart into every single clip to share with you all, you can support the Sai Money Monster channel by scanning this QR code. The income I receive goes toward encouraging the Sai Money Monster team so we can keep making quality videos. It also helps motivate me to write better content and to access even more information. So if you like this kind of content, let's keep going. Because in this world, I've noticed there's a type of game where only one player can survive, like Squid Game, Battle Royale, or the Hunger Games. In many of these games, the players know exactly what they're getting into. But in some games, the players who are sent in have no idea that they're being put into a competition and that only one person will survive. Right now, if you look at various industries, let me use the chip industry as an example. Semiconductors, which is a high-tech field, the United States is putting the most pressure on China. And right now, it's the toughest it's ever been. The same goes for EVs. The pressure on EVs is intense too. They slapped a 100% import tariff, right? Chips are getting hit hard too. So let's take a closer look at the chip industry to really understand why. I'm wondering whether this game is just about taking China down alone, or if it's meant to sweep up others as well. It started when the United States blocked China from accessing high tech, like advanced chips, right? They ordered their allies, whether it's ASML from the Netherlands, Tokyo Electron, or whoever else, not to sell chip manufacturing equipment capable of producing chips smaller than 5 nanometers, like 5 nanometers and below, to China under any circumstances. And they also banned companies that make chips from selling chips that are too powerful or chips smaller than 5 nanometers to China as well. The reason is that this is a matter of national security. Smaller chips can be used to develop AI, and AI is basically a weapon of war these days, or even to be put into actual weapons, fighter jets, nuclear warheads, missiles, and so on. All of these things all require high-tech chips. But recently, Gina Raimondo, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, said that they are going to tighten restrictions even further to prevent China from accessing this technology. They plan to use a tactic called teaming, which means getting allied countries to also ban the sale of chips to China, making the restrictions even tougher. So how are they going to do this? Basically, they want to squeeze China out of access to chips in every possible way. There's a law I'd like to introduce to everyone. It's a regulation that Gina Raimondo has been emphasizing. It's actually been around for a while, but Gina Raimondo has just recently stressed that all allied countries, anyone who manufactures chips, must follow this rule. It's called the Foreign Direct Product Rule, or FDPR. This is a regulation that controls foreign entities like this. Any product, no matter where in the world it's made, if it uses American technology, then it falls under this rule. The United States gets to decide whether or not that item can be sold and to whom. That means it's not just high-tech chips anymore that are banned from being sold to China. From now on, anything that contains American technology inside, even if it's just a tiny part, even if it's not a chip, even if it's just software, will be subject to this rule. Under this rule, the United States has the right to control whether any goods or services can be sold and to whom. So even chips inside refrigerators, microwaves, dishwashers, washing machines, anything at all, if they contain American chips, the U.S. can prohibit them from being sold to China. Based on this information, let me ask everyone, between those who are banned from selling to China, today I'm talking about the chip industry, specifically ASML from the Netherlands, and Tokyo Electron from Japan, between those who are banned from selling to China and China, which is banned from buying, who do you think suffers more? But one thing is certain, ever since Gina Raimondo announced this rule, the stocks of both companies, ASML and Tokyo Electron, have plummeted by 19% almost immediately. This is all due to the U.S. FDPR rule, which controls products that use American technology. Today, the rule says you can't sell to China, but tomorrow it could say you can't sell to anyone else. It's entirely up to whatever the United States decides. This makes you wonder, is the real geopolitics today not actually a battlefield, but rather just following the orders of the United States? So now I want to know, just how much has ASML been selling chips to China? Why is it that when the United States said, hey, you can't sell even more chips to China, ASML stock dropped so sharply, down 19%? Let's take a look at this. The United States ordered ASML not to sell high-tech technology to China, specifically anything used to produce chips smaller than 5 nanometers, starting from January 2023. But even after that, ASML has still been selling chip manufacturing equipment to China, just that it might not be their top-of-the-line models. Even so, they've still managed to generate a lot of revenue. Over the past 4 quarters, since the United States told them not to sell high-tech chips, they've still made revenue in those 4 quarters. Specifically in China, China bought ASML products worth up to $7.4 billion in just 1 quarter. Now, if you ask about the United States, the country that ordered them not to sell to China, does America buy products from ASML? Of course they buy. What else would they do? If they didn't buy, that would be kind of rude, wouldn't it? But they do buy at $1.688 billion over 4 quarters compared to what China bought in the same period. So the U.S. bought about 4.5 times less than China. Personally, I think, hey, does this mean that even though the U.S. is putting so much pressure on China, they don't care at all that ASML's revenue will drop this much? That's $7.8 billion from China. Does America really not care at all? If ASML didn't have this chunk of money, would they be in trouble? Would anyone care? Of course not, because Gina Raimondo already said in this clip that, hey, we have to do this for the long-term security of the United States, and everyone will benefit from it. But on the other hand, what I'm thinking is, do they really just not care if ASML loses revenue, or are they actually trying to undermine ASML on purpose? Japan's Tokyo Electron is in the same situation. Over the past year, 40% of Tokyo Electron's revenue came from selling equipment to China. So if allied countries, whether it's Tokyo Electron or ASML, follow the U.S. sanctions and stop selling to China, both of these companies will lose massive amounts of revenue, several billion dollars. That's money they won't be able to use for new research and development. But in this world, the competition is extremely fierce. When high-tech companies don't have the budget for research and development, it doesn't just mean they're standing still. It actually means they're falling behind. And when that happens, someone else will step in to take their place, whether it's China, which is pushing hard to develop, or even the United States itself, perhaps. All right, so let's look at another angle. If the United States says you can't sell to China, then could Europe or Japan turn around and sell more to America instead? Maybe that could help make up for the lost revenue. Okay, I get that they probably wouldn't be able to sell as much as they did to China, but could they at least increase their sales to the US? But the chances of that happening would drop even further if Donald Trump were to become president. Whoever becomes the next president of the United States, because Donald Trump has already said that he's going to raise import tariffs by a flat 10% on goods from everywhere in the world coming into the US. That means European markets would get hit hard as well, right? No one's exempt if you're on this planet. So at this point, if I were ASML or Tokyo Electron, I'd really have to start carefully considering all of my strategic options. Stop selling to China. No matter how many billions of dollars, even if it's just $1, just let it go and stay loyal to the United States for the long-term security benefits that the US has promised. Or, option 2, go all out to avoid using any US technology whatsoever, even the tiniest bit, in order to avoid being subject to the US FDPR regulations. The U.S. continues to sell goods and take money from China. And there's another country we can't leave out, Taiwan, which owns TSMC, the world's largest chip company and the one with the most advanced technology. So what will the United States do? Will they continue to take care of TSMC and Taiwan? Someone asked Donald Trump about this again. Trump responded like this: "I know them well, I respect them a lot. They are the ones who took 100% of chip technology from the United States. I think Taiwan should pay us for protection because what the U.S. is doing right now is basically acting like an insurance company, and Taiwan hasn't given us anything in return." Recently, the United States just set up a budget to help Taiwan avoid being attacked by Beijing, worth billions of dollars. Washington has also given TSMC billions of dollars before to set up operations and build factories in the United States, and they've already received that money. After Trump's remarks, the very next day, Taiwan's premier Chen Cheng-jin came out and said that Taiwan is currently doing everything it can to increase its defense budget in order to better protect itself. Now, allied nations and partner countries, especially those in the chip industry like Taiwan, Japan, and the Netherlands, have to take a very close and serious look at the end goal of the United States economy, or what the ultimate objective of the United States' broader economic policy really is. What exactly do they want? And the U.S. isn't even trying to keep any of this a secret anymore. Gina Raimondo, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, came out and said directly that the United States must not be at the end of the advanced semiconductor industry supply chain. Advanced semiconductors must be created and manufactured in the United States. They must originate from New York. And the United States must be at the absolute leading edge of the semiconductor industry. When we talk about being at the forefront, it essentially means becoming the primary manufacturer. The direct competitors of those who are at the forefront, the semiconductor manufacturers, are ASML and Tokyo Electron. Because if the U.S. sanctions are successful and allied nations formally agree to comply with these restrictions by not selling products or chips, that is, not selling any kind of semiconductor manufacturing equipment to China and agreeing to forego the billions of dollars in revenue they could make from China, well, having no cash flow in business is like a body without blood. It just can't survive. So there has to be another perspective here. People are starting to wonder, hey, is the U.S.'s current game plan really about wanting to take on China? Do they want to kill off one country in terms of trade? Or do they want to take everyone down so that only one country prospers in business?